Okay, in this video, we're going to look at calculating concentration. We need to have some core knowledge in order to get into this topic. And the core knowledge we need to understand is that the units for concentration are either grams per decimeter cubed or moles per decimeter cubed. Moles is often shortened in concentration to MOL, but this is moles per decimeter cubed. We're going to need to use two triangles to help us to do these. So here's the first triangle. And the first triangle is one of our favourites. It's the number of moles is the mass divided by mass 1 mole, and this allows us to convert between grams, so mass, and numbers of moles. We need to be able to convert between these two using this triangle. The second triangle, which is a new one for us for this topic, is this one here that allows us to work out concentration, and concentration is amount divided by volume. A couple of things to watch for. Amount has to be in grams or moles. It can be either. Concentration, depending on the amount, will either be moles per decimeter cubed or grams per decimeter cubed. And the thing to look for here very carefully is the volume has to be measured in a decimeter cubed. If you get given volumes as centimeters cubed, that means we have to divide by 1,000 to convert it into a decimeter cube. Watch for that because that will come up quite frequently in the questions. So let's try one of the questions here. Okay, so the question says that we've got 35 grams of silver nitrate, and what we want to try and do is convert that. This question is asking us to convert that into a concentration in the units of moles per decimeter cubed. So my first job is to change 35 grams into moles, and then I'll work out the concentration. So job number one, I'm going to work out the number of moles. So we've got number of moles, and number of moles is the mass divided by mass of 1 mole. Okay, so in this question here, we've got the mass of 35. Now we've got to think carefully. We've got to find the mass of 1 mole, and the formula here is silver nitrate, AgNO3. So what we need to do is find the mass of this. So to do that, I'm going to do some working out up here. So as Ag, there is 1 Ag in this formula. There is a nitrogen in this formula as well, and there is oxygen 3 lots. Okay, I then go to the periodic table to find the mass of each of these. So silver is 108 times by 1 is 108. Nitrogen is 14 times 1 is going to give me an answer of 14. Oxygen has a mass of 16, timesing that by 3 is 48. Add these up to get the total mass, and that gives you a total mass of 170. So my mass 1 mole is 170. Work that answer out and you get an answer of 0.206 moles. Okay, next job in here then, so we've got the moles. We need to convert this now into a concentration, which means to get it into moles in a decimeter. They're given as a volume of 250, so we need to use our concentration as amount divided by volume. So step 2 in this process, we're going to go for concentration. I'm going to shorten that to conc, is the amount divided by volume. So I'm going to shorten that to amount divided by volume. So the amount is now in moles divided by the volume. The volume here is 250. Now be careful, this is centimeters cubed. So we've got 250 centimeters cubed. So I must divide that by 1,000. Okay. Put that into your calculator and it will give you an answer of 0.824, and the units I'll squeeze under here, moles per decimeter cubed. Now we have converted it. Okay, so that's the first example for you. I'm going to do one more on this page if I can squeeze it in at the very bottom here. So this question here says we've got 450 grams of zinc sulfate in 4 decimeters cubed, and again it wants us to convert this to moles per decimeter cubed. So first job is to get this grams and convert that grams to moles. So first job is number of moles. Okay, and number of moles again is mass divided by mass of 1 mole. So the mass is 450. The mass 1 mole, we'll do that down here. So there is zinc times 1. Okay, there's 1 zinc in that formula. There is a sulfur in there, and there are 4 lots of oxygen in there. Okay, zinc is 65 from the periodic table, so it's 65 times 1 is 65. The sulfur is 32 times 1 is 32. and then I've got 4 lots of oxygen. Oxygen is 16 times by 4. It's going to give me an answer of 64. When you add all those up, that should give you an answer of 161. Okay, so that number now goes underneath here, 161. Work this out and you get an answer of 2.80 moles. Okay, so we now know how many moles we've got. We've got to convert that into a decimeter. So now we use our concentration is amount divided by volume triangle. So the amount is 2.80 moles, and the volume this time is already in decimeters, so there's 4 decimeters. On your calculator, you work that out, and that gives you an answer of 0.7, and then the units put underneath here for a moment is that moles per decimeter cubed. So watch the videos, have a go at the other questions in here to get yourself confident with this and become comfortable with it. I'm going to put a couple more up on concentration as well, but good luck.